Hey, this is Dawnna St. Louis here, and I am about to hit the big stage and leaving my hotel room, I should say, to go hit the big stage. I'm supposed to be on at 12:30. But before I go on, I wanted to share this really interesting conversation that I had last night. So I'm out with people who are basically leaders in their organization, a lot of C-suite people. And there was one woman in particular. Hey, Jenna, how are you doing? There was one woman in particular who talked to me about, here it is, she's president of this organization. She's making, decent money. However, she said when they made her the offer for the job, that she never negotiated. She basically said, thank you. I'm lucky that you chose me. And it's a mistake. And she recognized it as a mistake. And she said, and she didn't realize it until many, many years later, that she had made this huge mistake. This is, however, a common theme that I heard from most of the women at the table, that they had made this huge mistake when it came down to money and when it came down to ensuring that they got what they were worth. So when we kept talking, one of the things that they talked about was there is a discomfort that happens when actually talking about money and negotiating more money and asking for more money. And there's an inability almost to open the door to those conversations. So the good news is that there is a way to open the door to those conversations, to let people know that you will be negotiating, and to make it clear that, you're not just happy that they chose you, but that it's a privilege for them to be working with you. There's only one of you on the planet, right? And there's a privilege for them to be working with you. You're bringing skills to the table. So one of the things that we talked about was, how do you set this up? So let's say that, and by the way, if you tell me the situation you're in and you need to ask more money, I'll tell you some of the seeds that you can plant. And I only got a few minutes. This is going to be a super short one because I got to get out of here and hop in the car. That's right there. I'm looking at it waiting for me. So it's going to be really short. So one of the things that I say when you're in an interview, so let's say you're going for a job, you have a regular job and you're in an interview. One of the things that they might ask you is, what's one of your biggest skills? What is one of the biggest assets that you bring to the table? So one of the things that you can say when they ask you, what's one of your biggest skills and assets that you bring to the table? I love to negotiate. Number one, you just opened the door. I love to negotiate. I can't wait for you guys to make an offer, because negotiation is where I really do this. So, hey, Victor, thank you. So that's one of the things that you can do. You can say, I love to negotiate. The other thing that you can do is, besides saying that you love to negotiate, because I know that's kind of an easy one, is when they do make you an offer, if you have not, or if you don't have the opportunity to say that, then you can always say, when they make you an offer, say, listen, my goal is to grow with your organization. My goal is to be with you guys for the long term. And that means that when I move up in ranks, one of the things that I'm going to be responsible for doing is negotiating bigger and better deals. So I need to show you now that I know how to negotiate. So while I appreciate your offer, and while I recognize that not only do I look forward to working with you guys, but I bring a lot to the table, one of the things that I'm going to do is negotiate the offer that you give me. Right? So in other words, if you let people know ahead of time, or even if you let people know it's not a lack of appreciation, but I am going to be negotiating this, then they're prepared for it, and it's okay for them to be prepared. I remember the last time that I went for a job, which was many years ago, but the last time that I went for a job, a regular job, I wanted, I think it was like $175,000. And the client was at about $150,000. And we must have gone back and forth probably about 3 or 4 times. And every time they come back, they'll go, well, this is our final offer. And I'm like, that's great. Here's my final offer. Right? And then they come back and they go, well, here's our final offer. And I'd say, that's great. Here's my final offer. So final offer, they say that, and it's kind of like a little poker thing. It's like, I'm going to go all in, but they don't actually push in all the chips. You can't be afraid of when someone says that's the final offer, because here's the thing they don't want. They absolutely, positively, when you're going for a regular job, they don't want number two. They want the person that they've worked their ass off to get, that they've interviewed, that they've all agreed upon. Most times people are getting people by committee now. And the last thing they want to do is go and get everyone to agree on a second person. See, most people think, oh, well, if they chose me, then they chose a second and they chose a third. No, they didn't. What they did was they got a whole bunch of people together and they said, this is the one guy we can all agree upon, right? And once they have it in their head, this is the one we can all agree upon, right? They do not want to go back to the process of finding a second person they can all agree upon. So you as the person, most people think that they don't have the power in their hand as a negotiator, but you as the person who they're selecting, right? That they're selecting, quote unquote, you have the power. So you really just need to open up the conversation. And when you open up that conversation and say, and I let them know, listen, you guys do not want to go back to the committee and do all that work again and coming up with a number two. Because I guarantee you that the delta between me and that person is so huge that you're never going to be happy with number two. So let's do this deal. Let's come up with terms that we can both agree upon. Okay, here's the third thing that you can do in regards to negotiations, and it totally works. So I always talk about the point of ridiculousness. There's 2 points of ridiculousness. One is in sales when someone says, we're only talking about $1,000. And I'm like, you're right. We're talking about $1,000. And since you have 500 people, we're talking about less than a cup of coffee. How much you guys paying for the coffee? Right? So I get it to the point of ridiculous. But there's another side to the point of ridiculousness. Ask for crap you don't really want. So for example, I need a first class ticket for myself as well as everyone in my entourage. I also need a black Hummer, a limousine Hummer to come pick me up from the airport. I also need to ensure that I have white M&Ms in my room, like just these stupid, ridiculous writers. Here's the thing. Do I want or need any of that crap? No. But notice what we're not negotiating on. My money. We're negotiating on my entourage's tickets and white M&Ms and the black Hummer SUV. We're negotiating on that crap. We're not negotiating on my dollars. They're so focused on all the other ridiculous things in my writer that they're not even thinking about my money. It hasn't even crossed their mind, right? Also, by having those ridiculous things in your writer, they're like, oh, we're playing with the big dogs here. We're not playing with somebody else. We're playing with, okay, this is for real, for real. So sometimes those ridiculous writers, and I know they seem so ridiculous, sometimes those ridiculous writers help them take their focus off the dollars in your account and focus on other crap. So they're not really worried about negotiating down your dollars. In other words, give yourself other negotiating points other than dollars. Negotiating points other than dollars. See, so many times we don't have enough stuff in there that the only thing they have to negotiate with is money. But when they get me and they're like, yeah, I paid her, $20,000 for the day, but her entourage didn't come with her. Okay. Because I don't really have one, but they feel like they got to win. So that point of ridiculousness is really helpful. Anyway, I officially have to go downstairs now because I think it's like 11 o'clock Eastern and the guy is down there. He looks like he's getting impatient. So I think I should go and get in the car and get out of here. I got to be on the stage in a few minutes. But I just want you guys to think about that when negotiating, because it's really a challenge for people to negotiate. And when you tell people, number one, it's one of your skills. And when you tell people, number two, you have the ridiculousness out there, and there's a lot of things you could do. So I'm going to ask you guys for one favor, one giant, crazy, oh my gosh favor. Please share my video. Please share this video for me. I'm asking. I'm not negotiating. But if you don't share it, I won't do another one. No. Please share this video. I've been finding people have been hitting me up and they find these very helpful on a regular basis. And you guys know me, I don't come on here just to talk about like puppy dogs and cats. I really try to come on and share good, valuable information. Thank you, Jana. I saw you shared it both. Thank you so much. So yes, please share, please share, please share. Also, if you guys want to learn about some of this stuff, check out my book, The 6 Kick-Ass Strategies of the $1 Million Entrepreneur. And if you want to know where you can get it, you can go to Get6, and 6 is spelled GET6ix.com, get6.com. And a lot of the stuff you'll find in there. And I know Kate Delaney has used my book, and I think she's going to be starting to pay me commission because she's making so much money off of it. Anyway, I'll talk to you guys later, and I'm going to be in the car this afternoon. I'm driving to the airport, and then I'll be in San Francisco next week. So I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good one.